What is rural sociology? Rural sociology is the study of life, relationships, and social structures in villages and countryside areas. It helps us understand how people in rural regions live, work, and interact with each other and with their environment. It also examines how rural communities change over time and how they are affected by economic development, technology, and government policies. While cities often get the most attention in discussions about progress, rural sociology reminds us that the countryside is the backbone of most societies, especially in countries where agriculture and traditional values play a big role. At its core, rural sociology studies how rural societies are organized. Villages are often built around strong family ties, traditions, and cooperation. People know each other closely, and relationships are personal and long-lasting. Unlike in cities, where people might not even know their neighbors, village life is deeply social. Events such as marriages, religious festivals, and collective farming activities bring people together and strengthen their sense of community. However, rural life also faces many challenges. Poverty, lack of education, limited health care, and poor infrastructure are common issues in many rural areas. Rural sociology seeks to understand these problems and suggest ways to improve the quality of life in these regions. It studies how inequality, land ownership, and government policies affect rural people and tries to find solutions that balance development with traditional ways of life. Agriculture is the central focus of most rural communities. It provides food, employment, and cultural identity. Rural sociology examines how farming shapes social relationships. For example, landowners and laborers often have very different lifestyles and opportunities. In some areas, unequal land distribution has caused social tension and even migration to cities. Understanding these dynamics helps sociologists recommend fair policies that can reduce poverty and promote social harmony. Modernization has deeply affected rural life. With new technologies, education, and roads, villages are changing faster than ever before. Many young people are leaving rural areas to seek jobs in cities, which leads to urbanization and the decline of traditional village life. This migration changes family structures. In earlier times, families lived together in large groups, but now smaller, nuclear families are becoming common. Rural sociology studies these transformations and their effects on social relationships, gender roles, and values. Education plays a key role in rural development. In the past, education was limited to cities, but now governments and organizations are building schools and colleges in villages. Educated youth can bring new ideas and opportunities to their communities. However, many still face barriers such as poverty, lack of teachers, or gender discrimination. Rural sociology looks at how education can empower people, especially women, to improve their economic and social position. Rural areas are also connected to nature more directly than cities. The environment provides resources such as water, soil, and forests that sustain rural livelihoods. But problems like deforestation, soil erosion, and climate change now threaten rural life. Many farmers face crop failures due to unpredictable weather or drought. Sociologists working in this field emphasize the importance of sustainable farming methods and community awareness to protect the environment while maintaining productivity. Social institutions in rural areas are often built on traditional customs. Religion, caste, and kinship still play strong roles in shaping daily life and social relations. In many villages, caste or tribal identities determine occupations, marriages, and social status. Rural sociology studies how these traditional systems can both help and hinder progress. For example, strong community ties can create unity, but rigid hierarchies can also cause inequality and discrimination. The role of women in rural societies is another important area of study. In many rural cultures, women are responsible for both household duties and agricultural work, yet they often receive less recognition or ownership rights. Rural sociologists highlight the importance of gender equality, participation of women in decision-making, and access to education and health services. When women are empowered, the entire community benefits. Development programs and government policies have had a major impact on rural areas. Rural sociology helps in planning and evaluating such programs. For example, initiatives that provide microfinance, rural employment, or agricultural support aim to reduce poverty and increase productivity. However, some projects fail because they ignore local traditions or the real needs of villagers. Sociologists working in development make sure that community voices are heard and that projects fit local conditions rather than imposing outside ideas. Communication and technology have started transforming rural life in surprising ways. Mobile phones and the internet connect farmers to markets, education, and health services. People can now learn about weather forecasts, crop prices, or training programs through digital platforms. Rural sociology studies how such technological changes improve lives and also examines whether they increase inequality between those who can afford new tools and those who cannot. Migration is another major focus of rural sociology. Many people leave villages for cities or even abroad in search of better income. While migration brings financial benefits through remittances, it also affects social structures back home. Families may be separated, and traditional farming may decline when younger people leave. Understanding these trends helps sociologists and policymakers design programs that support both those who migrate and those who stay behind. Community cooperation remains a powerful feature of rural life. People still come together for building houses, harvesting crops, or celebrating festivals. This sense of collective effort, known as social capital, strengthens the foundation of rural societies. Rural sociologists emphasize that development is most successful when it builds upon this community spirit instead of destroying it. Projects that involve villagers in decision-making are more likely to succeed because people feel ownership and responsibility. In conclusion, rural sociology helps us understand the deep connection between people, land, and society in the countryside. It shows that rural life is not backward or outdated, but rich in tradition, values, and collective strength. It reminds us that true progress must reach every corner of society, not just cities. To achieve balanced development, governments, organizations, and communities must work together to protect rural culture while improving living standards. Rural sociology provides the knowledge to make this possible, guiding us toward equality, sustainability, and social harmony. If you enjoyed this simple explanation of rural sociology and found it helpful, please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more educational content on sociology explained in easy language.